Another mom who's just effing mad and fed up with her husband's lack of parenting. She says, When reality kicks in. That is the title. She says, I think this is just a rant, but I got to get it off my chest. A couple of months ago, I had a come to Jesus moment about his parenting or lack thereof. He works evenings and our kids are in school every day. He has rotating days off, so sometimes on a weekend, sometimes a weekday. When I'm desperate for a break, I will leave him with the kids and he will put on a show in another room for them. He barely interacts with them. When I do get him to come with us somewhere, he just stares at his phone the whole time. I can count on one hand the number of times he's taken the kids out by himself. Our oldest is 6. And our moment I told him that the kids need more, he kept going back to how he provides financially for the family. So I said, okay, if that's all you're going to do, then let me know because I'll stop expecting you to be an involved father and have to deal with the disappointment. For a backstory, I was on the fence about having kids and he wanted them so badly, told me it's all he ever dreamed of and was being a father. I asked him if this is what he pictured when he dreamed of that. Since then, he started to be a little bit more involved with the kids. I convinced him to have an adventure day with our oldest, pretend like you're taking him to school, and then go to his favorite museum instead and just have fun together. The night before, he tried to get out of it with weird excuses like he will expect to go to the museum every day. I did my best to shut that down. He actually did take our son on an adventure day. On the way home, our 6-year-old told our 6-year-old AUDHD child said to him, I'm surprised you took me to the museum because normally you're so lazy. Now, my husband hates our child. I am finding it hard to hold my tongue with my I effing told you so. Your child notices when every time they ask you to play, your automatic response is no. Your child notices when you don't interact with them when they are home. Your child notices when you look at your phone more than them. My kids are amazing. I love them so much. I wish they had an involved father, the father he promised me he'd be. I don't know where to go from here. I'm going to go back to this front page. Now, this woman had to be convinced to have a child. For the child-free girlies out there, don't let these men convince you because we're not seeing any evidence that these dudes are picking up slack right now. There needs to be more of a birth rate decline because if these people do not want to participate in the lives that they help create, then maybe there just needs to be a continual fall off a cliff because women cannot keep bearing the brunt of all of this and then trying to bring them along to fulfill the expectations that they set. The men ask for these things. The men want babies. Well, they say that they want babies. They really just want to anchor a woman down. All right. Now, there is a really good discussion happening in this post. I want to get to it. Okay, so this is where the good discussion starts. Kids won't remember how hard you worked, only how you weren't there. So that started it off. Then Quiet Parking said, my dad worked a lot when I was growing up, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom. Some of the time while we were youngest, my mom talked about how hard my dad worked to support us. We did weekend trips and summer holidays with lots of time together, mostly camping, cross-country skiing, bus trips. One of my enduring childhood memories is of my dad taking a day off work to come to my elementary school's field trip to a local mountain and go cross-country skiing. It was so meaningful to me that he would do that. I knew his work was important and he was willing to miss it for me. Did my dad miss a lot? Yes, but he was and is a really good dad. Okay, so let's see what this person says. He says, and I believe that it's a man, could part of that be the message they are given from the other parent? If the other parent portrays daddy can't be around because he's too busy and stressfully says it, it's a different message than explaining you live in the house you have because daddy is at work. Maybe more could be made from the provider role if he's really out there busting his butt. I mean, if he took the day off of work to do an adventure day and is called lazy, then the child has an imperfect understanding of daddy does when he's not at home. Okay, then Void Chungus says, The 6-year-old accurately used 6-year-old words to describe a lazy parent. In this case, a father who is checked out, never present mentally, always on his phone, rarely cares for the kids, and when he has to, uses the TV to babysit. He is perpetually uninterested in interacting with the kids. It's been 6 years, and this is the father the kid has known. Whenever dad is physically present, he is not mentally or emotionally present. Whew, I'm sure that hits hard. He does less than the bare minimum as a parent and is reluctant to do even that. He puts in zero effort and dislikes putting in effort. The problem here really is not bad messaging from OP. If you're suggesting things would be better if OP tried harder to emphasize her husband's contributions while continuing to do all of the parenting, my response is that the kid would then shift their thinking to dad is a lazy parent and mom is okay with that and says it has to be that way or we'll lose the house. And later in life, that child will have learned it's okay and normal for dads to be uninvolved in parenting. That's a mom's job. Dads are there to earn money and nothing else. That right there, let me move. That right there sums up the reason why we have so many lazy and uninvolved dads right now. Because the women have been covering for them for so long that so many of adult men right now don't believe that they have an obligation to parent. Okay, she continues with, I mean, honestly, that's a large part of the reason why we have so many people who think this way today. She and I are on the same page because their parents modeled it for them and the children were given the message that that's fine. That woman is spitting hot fire right there. And then this man is still trying to help this man. If dad really is working hard to provide for his family, then it's not really accurate to call him lazy. I work with people who leave their country for months at a time to provide for their family. It seems illogical to call them bad dads. Of course, the situation is different. And in no way am I saying that dads should be absolved from parenting. I think too often we sit here and say, make your relationship like this paradigm and you'll be happy when that isn't always the case. And when it is, there's always times there will always be times people struggle with this, and it's just human nature to want more. My parents certainly did not model this for me, but perceptions, because I envy those that did have a dad in the home. And then this person says one can be an exceptionally hardworking employee and a lazy, checked out parent at the same time. The 6-year-old was surprised to spend a special day with dad because he never spends one on one time with dad. Even at home, he knows dad is not an available parent to them. How sad. It's not about accurately labeling someone as lazy or a bad parent when they work hard at work. It doesn't matter to the 6-year-old. And like I said, this is a man because he is really trying to support this dad in this situation. He is ready to die on this hill. He says, it is though, and that's the point. They learn that from somewhere. Being called lazy when you're not can really mess with your head and feelings. So this dad's feelings is more important than the child's perception. That's what this is what I'm getting. If he's already stressed and depressed, do you think that'll help? How do we know he's stressed or depressed? How do we know this? He's just adding things. Okay, and I will agree that the rationale place to go from here is that the kids' feelings carry more weight, and I'd agree, but that doesn't mean it doesn't take time, even as an adult, to process. Parents, both sides are human. OP mentions needing alone time. Is that lazy? No, it's not. But you know what? No, I'm not. I'm not gonna let this person say that it's the same thing when the involved parent needs a break, considering the involved parent is probably pulling 97% of the parenting. So the involved parent deserves a break and needs a break. So I'm just going to end it there. This person just wants to go hard for this dad. And yeah, this is just not hitting for me. But you guys go ahead and weigh in and let me know what you think of this one. It seems like there are a lot of divorces lately. And a lot of this is coming out of the pandemic where women are just like, nah, I can do this on my own a lot better. This person is not really particularly hopeful. And we're seeing the trend continue into 2024. This person says, he left and I barely noticed. Dang. Okay, let's get into her story. She says, it's been 3 days since he blocked me on everything. He ignored my text regarding our daughter. I had to ask his dad to get in touch and ask him if he was going to stay in our child's life. All I know is he will contact you. I would say, it feels like I do everything. He would always reply, actually, you do about 60%. 3 days and the disruption to my life has been minuscule. I've continued to do everything, all the cooking, the cleaning, the childcare. The only extra work I have is the weekly shop alone and remembering to take the rubbish out on bin day. If anything, my life is easier. I don't have to clean up after him. I don't have to wash his clothes or take him coffee in bed and make sure he wakes up to spend an hour a day with our kid before he goes to work. I really expected to notice his absence more. Financially, I might struggle a bit. Not much, but I'll have to be more frugal. The happiness I've gained from him leaving far outweighs any struggle. Y'all, this is the realization that many of these married single mothers or women who are dealing with a tolerable level of permanent unhappiness are coming to realize. Once you have mastered doing everything, and there's a whole person right over there, you know, absolutely without a shadow of a doubt, you have the confidence, or you will have the confidence to pull this off if and when you do remove that person from your life or he removes himself. And the fact that so many women are coming to the internet to speak on this, because it is a dynamic that is happening across the boards. It's happening across so many different social media platforms. It's happening across race, culture, um, all all the dynamics, class, wealth. Poor folks are doing it, rich folks are doing it. People are just walking away because the women are tired of shouldering the burden and having a man in the household. Single women, single moms will tell you it got much easier when I left, because when that person is there, you ask, you ask, you ask. And after a while, you just get tired of asking. And that is a burden relief when you know without a shadow of a doubt that you can handle it. All right. So that's her story. Let's talk about some of the comments. This person says, New year, new you. Congratulations. I remember when my ex used to whine that I didn't appreciate that he took the recycling to the recycling center on Saturday. It was 3 blocks away and he disappeared for 2 hours. I simply said, I won't applaud your efforts because you're too lazy and disorganized to put the recycling at the curb on Tuesday so that it can be collected. There's no equivalent on my chore list. Get yours together. He did not like that. Why they want to be celebrated every time they participate just a little bit is beyond me, but this is their expectation. She says, whatever, I'm happier, wealthier, and far more sane without him, and you will be too. This person says, why do so many guys think it's a full-on chore? My partner's usually pretty good, but he's claimed that wheeling the bins down to the curb and back once a week as one of his chores. The other day, I had an appointment after work and he wheeled them down before I got home, but hadn't actually gone around and cleaned up any of the trash cans to put anything in them. He put empty bins by the curb. Meantime, the next door neighbor's 8-year-old takes the bin to the curb and brings it back, and my friend's twin boys have split the chore, wheeling them down and wheeling them back without being reminded since they were 7. This person says, I live alone and taking the rubbish out is the easiest chore on my list. No idea why someone wants a medal, exactly, for dragging a wheelie bin a dozen meters. You can tell that the tide is shifting. So many women across the board are speaking to these things, and it's going to be a lot harder to convince childless and single women to sign up for marriage when marriage falls so much harder or so much more of a burden on the wife and the mother. And so things will have to change. Lots of women are walking away. Lots of other women are not dealing with men with children. So I don't know how they're going to just run straight into another relationship or get other women to sign up for this. Because when you sign up for it, you're signing up for work if you're the woman, not a partnership like some of us expect. I don't know. You guys go ahead, chime in. Let me know what you think about this. Have you noticed these dynamics it's hard to not notice, where women are just like, I'd rather just be by myself. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, share. So this woman on Reddit said what a lot of people say, a lot of us women say when we're watching some of these videos. So I'm just going to go ahead and read it. She says, anyone else getting sick and tired of the women going, but he's a good person, after describing the terrible traits of their partner. She says, just saw a post on the dating sub this morning of a woman talking about her boyfriend is extremely racist against women of his own race. They are an interracial couple, almost to the point he considers women of his own race subhuman. They have apparently been dating 3 years, and his racism continues to grow. He now has a woman of his race new to his workplace, and he's pretty much foaming at the mouth about it, losing his mind. But then the same woman goes, but he's a great partner, feminist, kind, loving, good in bed, extroverted, etc. No, I'm sick of women pulling this. I'm not trying to hold women responsible for their partner's action, but please stop trying to convince the rest of us that your racist, sexist, misogynistic boyfriend who kicks puppies for sport is a good person. He may be good to you, but that doesn't make him a good person overall. If you want to be okay with that kind of man, just own it. I believe you are the company you keep, by the way. Chances are, if you're okay with your boyfriend being racist, you're probably racist yourself. Or you get an ego boost from being elevated over the subhuman people of color women. Absolutely. This woman spoke it. She hit two different points. These women that are trying to make excuses for why they choose these people. And, just from reading this with her, I am sure that it is a paper plate colored woman and an ash guardian. I am sure that that is the relationship dynamic without even exploring more, because that is the dynamic that they put against Black women. That this is the dynamic. It is easy to see it. And they do play off of each other against us because we are both women and Black. So you got a man who really dislikes the women of his race, and you got this woman who's just like, feeling a little bit better about herself when she might not be the preference within her own race. So she gets to look down on us. Let's see what some of the comments. He's perfect in every way, but before describing absolutely appalling behavior. Absolutely. This is the common theme, or like the way it goes, the formula when you have a terrible boyfriend. He brings me cookies and coffee when I need it. He just does X, Y, and Z, and these are all the horrible things. Kind, caring, considerate, loves his mother, but he's also an unaliver. What should I do? Depends on who he unalived. And then someone says, just a couple of X's. Who cares about that? Okay, so this woman comes with a little bit different take. She says, the thing is, this one is extreme and obvious, but when he's wonderful, except he has learned helplessness and won't do chores without being asked a million times. Well, is that divorce worthy? Maybe he's great overall, except he is kind of boring in bed. Divorce? What about when there's been times you're also not up for it? It's really easy to make fun of women who feel deeply conflicted and unhappy and shame them for not just leaving him. But I'm not sure it's that different than people dismissing women's complaints and struggles with just deal with it. It's both dismissing what the woman actually feels and says and believes. Okay, and then this person says, thank you. What I am sick and tired of seeing is women blaming other women for men's bad behavior. It's been all over this sub this past week. What is going on? Now, this woman took care to not blame her, but not blame the woman for the man's bad behaviors, but coming to the internet to tell us all about these things, and then not expecting women to chime in like, red flag, why are you with this person? That's a whole different dynamic. Why are you telling everybody this on the internet? Everybody is going to chime in. No need to really belabor the point in the comments. This woman, beep beep boo bop. I love these Reddit names. She really did hit her 2 points without really fleshing it out. And I do want to know your opinion on this. And did you think that the interracial couple was what I think it is from the very beginning? Just understand the dynamics of misogynoir in this country and how Asgardians are so anti Black women. It's amazing. So go ahead, chime in on this one. Let me know what you think.